Welcome to today's discussion on valuation. We have made our initial discussions relating to valuation, wherein which we highlighted that there are two basic requirements relating to valuation. One, every transaction will have a transaction value. So how many number of transaction an organization do, for every transaction we can determine a transaction value which will be considered as a value of supply. As per section 15 of CGST Act, value of supply, VOS, equal to transaction value. Now, when a price can be considered as transaction value, because what is accepted under GST for levy is a value determined under section 15. What is accepted under section 15 is transaction value. When a price can be accepted as transaction value, when we get into that discussion, there are two conditions which need to be satisfied as per section 15. What are those two conditions? When we step into a first condition, a very simple condition, supplier and recipient should not be related. Understandable, a genuine condition. A relationship will always influence the price. So keeping all that in mind, government have came up with this proposal, which is fair in terms of fair play, which is required under the law. So one aspect was that. Number two aspect associated with this discussion was in case of all these transactions, in case of valuation is concerned, a second condition is price should be the sole consideration of supply. Let me repeat. Price should be the only consideration. Apart from money, I should not receive any other consideration. If I satisfy these two conditions, my transaction value will be accepted. I no need to refer anywhere. Plain section 15.1 will satisfy me, and a value determined under section 15.1, I will pay tax to government. That is what section 9 of CGST Act or section 5 of IGST Act conveys. Kindly understand that interplay. If we go back and recollect our levy provisions under levy, if we go back and discuss our levy provisions under levy, we have come across the situation where levy was very clear that yes, a levy would be applicable if value will be determined as per section 15. So the sections are mutually inclusive. Followed by, is anything that will be included in value of supply? Yes, all duties and taxes paid, incidental expenses, any money paid by the supplier on behalf of the recipient, all those interest, penalty, late fee received, and subsidies from manufacturer, in other words, subsidies other than government subsidies. All these 5 items will be included in value of supply, and only one item will not be included in value of supply, which is envisaged from the section end, which is going to be a discount given at the time of supply, which is also evidenced by way of giving it in this invoice. You buy a product for 10,000, in the invoice itself 2,000 is reduced. Good. Value of supply is 8,000. Assume at the time of supply, both supplier and recipient is aware that yes, this discount will be given. At a later point in time, the recipient completes that activity. So because of that reason, supplier is going to give, which could be a turnover discount, quantity discount, quality discount, any kind of discount, that at the time of supply, let me repeat, at the time of supply, both supplier and recipient is aware of that discount. A very, very, very crucial point. At the time of supply, I should be aware that yes, that discount is eligible. But that discount is given when, if you're going to ask me, it is not at the time of supply, it is post supply. That is why we qualify the discount into two types: pre-supply or supply based discount, or post supply discount. What do we mean by pre-supply discount is before supply they will not give. It's understandable. Anybody buy from me is entitled for a 5% discount. Anybody buy from me, which is at the time of supply in the invoice itself, it will be mentioned. Coming back here, when it comes to the discussion relating to post-supply discount, I'll take up a situation today, this morning, for a better understanding. And just to sum up the understanding of post-supply discount from an exam perspective, this adjustment becomes more important. It is a company. This company is engaged in the activity of manufacturing of bread, daily consumable bread. Bread has a shelf life of 7 days. From the day in which it is made, 7th day it has to be sold maximum. So the company which manufactured bread appointed a person and delivered to the nearby 10 shops, wherever they are located, nearby 10 shops, daily breads. On the date of supply, they supplied each shop, let's assume for our comfortness, 10 bread packets each. So the whole number game becomes 100 bread packets. So 10 bread packets are supplied to store A, store B, store C, store D, store E, like all these stores. One. So all these bread packets were supplied to all these stores. It was supplied for 7 rupees, and the vendor will sell to the end consumer for 10 rupees. The vendor will make a margin of 3, and this company will be receiving 7 rupees from the respective stores owner. Day 1, 10 packets were given. Some shops sold that 10 packets, some shops sold only 5 packets, some shop never sold any of those 10 packets. Day 2 passed by, day 3 passed by, day 4, again, a call goes from the manufacturer's location to each shop. Some shop sold day 1, whatever you gave stock, everything we sold. Another shop says, we are about to sell another 2 pieces there. One shop alone told, we have 7 pieces in our hand, nothing is sold. Of 10, whatever you gave, we have 7 still pieces in our hand. This manufacturer instantly says, I'm reducing my price for you exclusively 5 rupees. You don't pay me 7 rupees, I'll give you a post-supply discount of 2 rupees. Now exactly we'll freeze this situation. A post-supply discount. Because the stocks are not sold, he gives the additional discount. The idea is like this. A 7 rupee product which is supposed to be sold at 10, where the manufacturer gives a discount of 2. So the 7 rupee product now becomes 5. Retailer assuming he is going to make us 3 rupees profit. Even if he sells at 8, he will make his own profit. The idea is manufacturer reduced his value. Idea of manufacturer is the cost of manufacturing me is 3 rupees. I wanted to earn a 4 rupee profit. Now I am relinquishing my 2 rupee profit in that product. Original cost of the bread, 3 rupees. Margins, contributions is 4 rupees, makes it to 7. This post-supply discount will be reduced from value or it will not be reduced from value. That is what is my question for the day. Come back, quick. I want answers. This post-supply discount of rupees 2. Quick. A post-supply discount of rupees 2, which is given by the manufacturer to one of the shop to whom the stocks is not moved well, that will be reduced from value of supply or it will not be reduced from value of supply. Quick. If 3 of you can answer, all of us can answer. Quick. Whoever answers till now, all of you are all right. Yes. Ganapati, Janani, Shweta Manivannan, Vaishnavi, Ambika, Vishnu Prasad, Shweta, all of you are all right. All of you all right. Followed by, this is not a cash discount, Janani. This is not a cash discount. Cash discount is something different. This is not a cash discount. This is a discount given post supply to push the product. That's all. See, if it is because I started the whole discussion with the bread, I started with it. If it is going to be a car manufacturing company, in the month of November 15th, they will stop manufacturing car. Maybe till November 30th they will do, but December 1st onwards, they will not manufacture car. Why? Because they can't push the sales to that year. They have to push only next year sales. January 15th afterwards only they will start manufacturing car. It's understanding every car manufacturing company, but for its export orders. Let me repeat. Foreign country export orders alone, they will stop manufacturing the car. In fact, today's situation, because the VIN today comes as an international number, a vehicle identification number. This VIN is now becoming a international numbering system, no more a Desi numbering system. Because of that reason, what happens is, even for the international market, they stop making cars. Okay, the complete assembly line will be stopped for 45 days to 30 days. Certain organization 45 days. They do their own gimmicks. They know the market trends, all that and all. Based on that, they will do. Why I was highlighting it is, for a car manufacturing company, they will push you to give. They'll push that dealers that they will say, I'll give you extra 25,000 discount. You sell the car now. Because a car which is manufactured in November, October, December first week, it has to be sold by end. It has to be built by end of that year. If it is built in next year, for all said and done, you touch your heart and say, you're going to buy a product for 4 lakhs, buy a product for 7 lakhs, buy a product for 9 lakhs. Will you be interested in buying the product which is made in that year or in the next year? I mean, previous year, sorry. I would not say next year. You're going to buy a product. Will you be interested in buying a product in 2021 or 2020? You are now at January 2021. You will definitely be interested in buying January 2021. How should I push my customer to bill it on that day, 2020? Very simple reason. Give a discount of 30,000 rupees, which discount you will not get there. Also say a story, next year onwards, new price list will come, price will increase. I have never come across a car manufacturing company has increased its price during January. This is one chumma marketing model. Now, be very clear, at the time of supply, this discount will not be. This is a discount directly connected with its supply. I want to push this product. Otherwise, the product will not be sold in the next year. It's very tough. Same model is opted here. Pradeep, take yourself. This discount will not be reduced. This discount will not be reduced. It will not be reduced from the value of supply. Aishwarya, it will not be reduced. Make yourself very clear. These are all the understanding. It's a situation-based question. If my facts are little changed, more specifically, prior to supply, both of them are aware. If I add one word there, one word, matter ends there, it will be allowed and reduced from values. That makes this whole discussion interesting. Beyond that, nothing we have in stores in section 15.3. Quickly we will move forward towards some of the additional aspects of section 15 and then to the valuation rules for determining value, if in case value cannot be determined. Is there any difference between consideration and sole consideration? Yes. What is the difference between consideration and sole consideration? A quid pro quo is called as consideration. A sole consideration means it's a word that comes from a agreement that happened between the supplier and recipient. Based on that agreement, it is done. And the supplier agrees that he will do this activity completely for this consideration only. Maybe if I take up this example, it would be little more interesting for all of us. I want a lot of you to participate on this example, because only by these examples you can understand or distinguish the difference between these words. It was assignment. This assignment is an individual computation of income need to be prepared. The concerned individual earns an income of 6 lakh rupees per annum. Just rupees 6 lakhs, not a great number. He earns rupees 6 lakhs per annum. This person, of course, after his basic deduction, this, that, he absolutely is not going to pay tax. But you can enjoy all those rebate and all only if you file your income tax return. I'm sure you all are aware of 87A rebate, if my memory serves me right. 87A rebate, you can claim it only if you are filing the return. That is what the respective section would come out and say. So he is in search of a professional who supports him in this activity. My question is, what is the fees that is going to be charged by us for filing this individual's computation of income with the income tax authority? What is the filing fee that we are going to charge? Yes, on your screens. Quick. So how much fees we are going to charge? Quick. Not a tough question. How much you are going to charge? In case you're going to do a professional practice, you're going to charge him how much rupees? He earns a 6 lakh rupee income, which includes prima facie salary, some basic deductions he has. End of the day, income will get reduced to less than 5 lakhs. He's going to enjoy 87A rebate. Quick. How much fees you're going to charge? Quick. Any number of your wish. 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. I want some number, that's all, of your wish. Quick, I get some numbers. Somebody 500, somebody 5,000, somebody 10,000, somebody 2,000, somebody 1,250 rupees. ஒரு மாதிரி மேஜிக்கலான நம்பர். இது மாதிரி நம்பர்லாம் எப்படி எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னே தெரியாது. Okay, nice. Quick. I want a few more numbers to discuss. As of now, the lowest is 500, the highest is 10,000. We have in between numbers, which will be 1,250, 2,000, 5,000, and quick. Now, among all of you, I am also in the race. Okay, they come out and ask me. I saw the work. Of course, it's a work which is not directly involved or directly connected with my professional practice, but somehow that person comes out and says, no, sir, we want only you to do the work. I charged 15,000. Now the question before all of us is this. Somebody is prepared to do for this work for 5,000. Somebody is prepared to do this work for 15,000. Why that gap? What makes this gap? See, for all of us, same ITR1. For all of us, same Form 16 issued by his employer. For all of us, everything is same. Why? What makes that difference? Expertise. IT form file பண்றதுல என்ன expertise வேணும்? ஆஹா, இங்க expertiseலாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது. In fact, mark my word, a lot of you will be expert in this than me, because my income tax knowledge is a 10-year-old knowledge. I only know. Quick. Yes. Reputation of the people, reputation of the firm. Okay, understandable. Now I'll rephrase it. This time, very badly, I want this job. Okay, I will definitely not come and race for all these jobs, but just chuma, we'll take it up. I very badly want this job. I'm ready to quote for 250 rupees. சத்தியமா நான் கேட்க மாட்டேன். Unfortunately, okay, கனவுல கூட இது மாதிரி ஒரு நம்பர் நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். Just be very clear. I want that job very badly. I want that job. I come up with a number of 250 rupees. I know by myself I am killing the market. Okay. Yes. Can 250 be accepted as a sole consideration? I saw somebody is ready to quote for 200. Then immediately I called him and told, sir, 100 sir. Can 100 rupee be accepted as sole consideration? Is the question before you. For a job, me myself has quoted 15,000 rupees. For almost same kind of job, I have quoted for 100 rupees. Possible, not possible. Similar file, similar client, on the other end, 15,000 rupees. Okay. Similar client, similar file work, 100 rupees. Unfair pricing, fair pricing. See, there is nothing fair in business. இந்த பிசினஸ்னு வந்துருச்சுன்னா ஃபேர்ன்றதே கிடையாது. அதனாலதான் பட்சி சிஎம்ஏ சிஎஸ் சிஏ பாஸ் பண்ணோன்னு என்ன சொல்றோம்னா, நீங்கெல்லாம் ப்ரொஃபஷனல், பிசினஸ் இல்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறோம். ஓகே, when it comes to business, there is nothing fair. Okay, it's only business ethics to be followed. Okay, come back here. My intention is very simple. I accepted a similar kind of work from Mr. X for 15,000. Similar kind of work from Y for 100 rupees. Is both are sole consideration. Both of them settled in cash. Can both be accepted as a sole consideration? Answer would be a very simple yes. Let me repeat. Answer would be a very simple yes. It can be. Sir, if somebody accepts for 1 rupee, sir, yes, accepted as a sole consideration. 1 rupee, just a rupee is accepted as a sole consideration. So my submissions are very simple. Let us make our point very clear. Price should be the sole consideration, and sole consideration is a contracted price. They can accept it for any value. Okay. In fact, this 100 rupee which I collected because for the sake I have to collect, I'm collecting. The person whom I know, the person whom I wish, the person whom was my mentor, when I'm pursuing his return, we still have this practice. Some of my few school teachers, I still file the income tax return. Somehow they gave to me. They often press me. I said, no, I don't want consideration. It's a regular activity. In fact, my time is not invested. My team takes care of it. They coordinate with you. They call you. You send and it is filed. No, Ganesh, you take some money. You take some money. They push me. I said, okay, you give me whatever you like. No, you come up with a number. I said, okay, give me 100 rupees. இல்ல 100 ரூபாய் எப்படி போதும் அந்த பாருங்க. You asked me a number, I gave you a number. To the contrary, I am not interested in doing this activity on a regular basis for various reasons. As I feel this is not my core competence. But I had a client who said me, no, sir, bedroom slide தான் வேணும், நீங்க தான் ஃபைல் பண்ணி தரணும் அப்படின்னு. ஓகேவா, நான் ஃபைல் பண்ணி தரேன், நான் பார்த்து பண்ணி தரேன், but it will be 15,000 rupees. Okay, sir, அப்படின்னு. I said again, in fact, my team members asked me, sir, what is this? அவன் 15,000 கொடுக்குறேன்ட்டான். 500 ரூபா ஒர்க் இல்ல, ஓகே 2,000 ரூபா ஒர்க், ஒருத்தர் 15,000 கொடுக்குறேன்றாரு, ஏன் வேலை செய்ய மாட்டேன்ற? வேலை செய். That's all. Only thing is, a little more care will be taken. I called up for his bank account statements. Give me all your bank account statements. It has personally scanned through my understanding. What is this? Made a small statement of affairs and did it in a different way. End of the day, both are income, both are ITR filing activity. The message that I want to make here is very clear. You cannot fix this is what for this is what for this. Like how you cannot fix in services, same it is also not applicable for goods. I am a company. I just started my commercial production. name being Kia Motors India Private Limited. When I want to sell my first 100 cars, I will sell all my first 100 cars less than the cost of production. Less than the cost of production. My cost of production would land up at 12 lakh rupees. I will come and announce in the market, I will sell the car for 9.6 lakhs ex showroom price. Sir, how they can make profit? The game is not here. The game is on the future. 1.5 years later, when across the streets, if you see my vehicles, automatically you are creating a desire on the next fellow who is going to convert. My potential customer is on the street. He now has a doubt. Do I need to go to MG or do I need to go to Kia? Kia தான் நிறைய ரோட்ல இருக்கு. I see a lot of Kia cars on the street. I think Kia should be a best brand. Pricing strategy. All this is possible. All these are all allowed. All these are all structured transactions and it is allowed. Consideration adequacy. No one will be bothered about it. Transfer pricing and all is between related persons, Ambika. Here you will not have a transaction with related person. I don't want this childish activity. Better. Okay. This is not your regular official user ID. This is another user ID personally kept by me. Today, for various reasons, it has been accessed from this. Okay. So I don't want this annotations. Don't behave like a UKG's school kid. That's all I would share. Coming back here, getting into, and unfortunately, if I go and I enable the name, unnecessarily it will be visible. Don't allow me to behave in that rude way and all. Okay. Coming back here, absence of consideration or lack of consideration. Two different words. Let me get into first discussion, lack of consideration. In fact, lack of equal consideration. The worth of service, the worth of goods that I'm going to give is worth 5 lakhs, but the money that I collect is going to be only 1 lakh. Can that be considered as a consideration? As long as it is a sole consideration, it will be allowed. Law never used the word equal consideration or fair consideration. Look at that wording. It never used the word fair play. It never used the word equal consideration. It said sole consideration. Sole consideration is through agreement. As far as the agreement says, this is the price, that is the price. Can somebody be with a 1 rupee salary as a chief minister of a country? The answer was yes. Somebody was prepared to live with that salary. 1 rupee salary is sufficient to me. I want to take some money. Because constitutionally I have to take some money, so I am taking. So the points for our discussion is consideration. When it comes to it, yes. Today that is allowed. No challenges at all over here. When it comes to lack of consideration, law is very clear. Nowhere, if the value that you give and the price that you charge, nowhere it is told it has to be equal or fair. Even it can be less. This gives the way for supply of a good, supply of a service less than its cost. Will it not create competition? Am I not covered under Competition Act? That story and all is different from a next angle. From a GST perspective, yes. Of course, from a Competition Act, you should wear that hat and come and read through this law. Competition Act, are you planning to do a penetrative pricing or it's a pricing model? You can come up with your own understanding associated with it. Am I not covered by the Competition Act? Yes, you are covered by the Competition Act, and you should structure your transaction in a way that it is not harming you from Competition Act perspective also. Coming back here, getting into the next question, absence of a consideration. Let me repeat. If the consideration is absent, there is no supply. If there is no supply, there is no levy. If there is no levy, there is no valuation. So if there is a lack of consideration, story is different. The consideration will be, if there is no consideration, then it is out. Adequacy of the consideration, it may be adequate, it can be inadequate, whatever be it. But if consideration is absent, Let me repeat. If consideration is absent, there is no supply because there are 5 ingredients that I require. There should be a form of supply. It should be made or agreed to be made by a person for a consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Among this 5, even one is not present, it cannot be treated as a supply, and further fall only you will have in all your provisions. I already told. Presence of a non-monetary consideration. Will there be a possibility? Yes. Non-monetary considerations for activities are possible. Sometimes in kind, sometimes as promise, sometimes as a promise of doing something, sometimes as a promise of refrain from doing something. So it can be any kind of non-monetary consideration. It can be tolerating an act. It can be abstain from doing an act. It can be refrain from doing an act. It can be doing an act also, a promise of doing an act. So apart from this, raw materials, services, goods, this, that, etc. is being provided as a non-monetary consideration. I get a consideration, but not in terms of monetary. Maybe you will not satisfy section 15(1), no doubt about it, but you cannot say it is not a supply. I'll give you a lifetime transactions. Rarely this is understood. Petrol pump. Every petrol pump will have a banner space. Okay. Today you come across these banners are largely used for advertisement of government-based activities. Government-based Ujjwal Yojana, this, that, and all. Relinquish your subsidies on gases. All that and all is used. Also understand, half board will be used for that purposes. Balance half board will be there, or dealers above that board, they will erect one more board. By FMCG company who has a stock which will get expired in the next 6 months. Next 6 months. It cannot supply that stock through its supply chain. Understand? For every FMCG company, the stock has to go through its supply chain. It should be aged more than 1 year, which means its expiry date should be 1 year later. Then only it can supply through its supply chain. So what happens here is, they will collect all those stocks in its supply chain, which is aged less than 6 months. Because that aging is not possible. Now, because of the pandemic, the FMCG company has its own challenges associated with it. They had a clear ulta in their cycles. Now, for our discussion, what is more important is, let's take up some of those FMCG companies of your wish. Could be ITC, could be HUL, could be Procter and Gamble, could be Himalaya, could be Ayush, any fellow Colgate, everybody, all FMCG company put under one list. Everyone has a stock less than 6 months. 2 options. Option 1, discard. Option 2, use it for an advertisement. Every company, vice president marketing will use it for an advertisement. How to use it for an advertisement? There are organizations who match up certain activities. Organization will come out and say, give me products worth 1 lakh. I will give you 30 days holding space in petrol pump. Why? On an average, fueling takes 30 seconds. 30 seconds, you cannot see the fuel pump alone. You will turn this side, that side. And on a prominent place, there will be a board visible. This board attracts people. Now, sometimes the Prime Minister's image, sometimes sports celebrity image, sometimes some information, sometimes product's image. When you see the product, and if you see this product many number of times, next time if you think a related purchase, you'll buy that product. It's a marketing gimmick. Moreover, what they do is also, if you're going to fuel more than 500 rupees, If you're going to fuel more than 1000 rupees, if you're going to fuel more than 2000 rupees, here keep this product, they'll give. That product, mark my word, will expire in next 6 months. The idea is you saw the product, you use the product. That's an experience by itself. So you get a repetitive customer. This is a business model. Let me repeat. I'm sharing with you is a very expensive business model. Here, look from a dealer perspective. For the dealer, what is the benefit, sir? He gives his hoarding space at free of cost. Look from a company who does this, marketing. He gets a hoarding space, which otherwise he has to pay. Now he is not paying, giving 1 lakh rupee worth stock. Now understand, you have fueled in a petrol pump station, just 200 rupees or 300 rupees. He gives you a paste. He gives you a brush because you fueled for a two-wheeler for 500 rupees, paste and brush. Next time, will you go to the next pump or this pump? Typical common man's attitude, he'll go to this pump because if I go and fuel, I'll get some money, he knows. The business of the respective petrol pump increases. The product visibility of the FMCG company goes. All are bartered transaction. Let me repeat, bartered transaction. I give a hoarding space, supply of service. You give me products worth to it. I will give it to my customer. My business will increase. Your product visibility will increase. Both as activity, both as a consideration. Where money involved in it? No one will know. Every petrol pump, next time onwards, if you observe, you will know that they are engaged in the activity of supply of service, which is supply of hoarding space. How to value it? In the rules we will understand. Discount, we had a complete discussion, which is going to be reduced from your value of supply, but bad debts are bad debts, which are all lost money. Maybe discount, you can reduce from your value of supply. Sir, can bad debts, I can reduce from value of supply? No, it is treated as a cost. It has to go as a cost itself. So nothing can be done about bad debts. Bad debts is a cost to the organization, including GST. It has to be charged to P&L. It's a cost. Nothing, no concepts, no possibilities, no adjustments like that. But when it comes to discount, a post-supply discount is possible. Of course, 15.3 has laid down certain conditions. If somebody satisfies that condition, it will take care of it. Is there a possibility of getting consideration from a third party? Yes. There can be tri-party contracts. There can be transactions where 3 parties involved in it. There is a supplier, there is a recipient, and there is a third party. The third party will get the consideration from the recipient. Actually, he will provide services to the supplier. So you'll have 3 parties: supplier, recipient, and third party. Third party will provide services to supplier, but get the consideration from the recipient of service. Possible. So you have all these combinations. There will be a power agent for a property. He is also, interestingly to note, is a builder, and landowner is separate. For the purpose of land, money will go to the landowner. For the purpose of construction, money will come to the builder. So you'll have 3 parties into the contract. A consideration can be paid by the third party, or sometimes business model transaction itself will involve 3 parties. So a consideration from third party is also possible. We'll comfortably accept as considerations. Be it supply of goods, be it supply of services, being trading goods, on all these, we have to determine the cost of goods sold. How are we going to determine? It's our prerogative. But we can definitely arrive the cost of goods sold, or otherwise very popularly called as cost of acquisition in case of trading, cost of services in case of services, and cost of production in case of the manufactured item. So cost of production, cost of cost of production, cost of service, or cost of acquisition are the parameters. If value cannot be determined, at least based on this, value can be determined. for those purposes, recollect our prime cost, direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, prime cost, plus factory overheads, plus any expenses directly connected with factory overheads will form part of the COP. Cost of service. Sir, I have a cost accounting standard. I'm aware of a cost accounting standard, standard number 5, I believe, CAS 5. Can I opt that process? See, as of now, GST has not prescribed any costing standards. When it comes to the erstwhile regime, we had a prescription of costing standard. Now we don't have a prescription of costing standard, but as an open source, it's recommendatory. Okay, I would say it's recommendatory, it's not mandatory. See, under the erstwhile Excise Act, it was mandatory. But COP need to be determined as per CAS 4, 5. Cost accounting standard 5 only, I believe. Okay, 5, 7, 5, 5 only. 7 is for transportation. Now here we don't have that recommendation, but always it's recommendatory because that is how the model that's originates. So those are all some additional provisions, additional aspects. Can a consideration between whether a consideration need to be adequate or not? What do we mean by sole consideration? How it is different from fair consideration or equal consideration? If there is no consideration, what will happen? In case of discount, how it has to be adjusted? Bad debts can be allowed or not? In case of non-monetary consideration, will it be accepted? First of all, yes, it will be accepted. How it will be valued, we will know now, which is based on valuation rules. So those are all those additional points associated with valuation. For various reasons known to us, a supplier is not in a position to satisfy section 15(1). If value cannot be determined as per section 15(1), what will happen? If value cannot be determined as per section 15(1), then value will be determined as per rule 27 to 35. Let me repeat. If value cannot be determined, then it will be determined in such manner prescribed. Sir, what is the manner prescribed? That is rule 27 to 31. Discuss about it. 30, 31. Yes. 27 to 31 will discuss about your manner prescribed. That is, if supplier and recipient are related. 15(1) not satisfied. 15(4) will take you to rules. Sir, I gave a consideration. Apart from that, I also gave some material. Consideration is not sole consideration. 15(1) not satisfied. 15(4) will take you to rules. Sir, do I need to write an exam 15(4)? My answer is yes. Because condition under section 15(1) is not satisfied, 15(4) read along with rule. 15(1) not satisfied, 15(4) is your bridge. Rule gives you value. Section not satisfied. What is the connectivity point? 15(4). The rule read along with 15(4). You have to write either if you want to start with rule. Or 15(1) read along with 15(4), value is determined as per this rule. இப்படி எழுதுறதுனா எப்படி செக்ஷனை ரெஃபர் பண்ணி எழுதுறீங்கன்னா இப்படி எழுதணும். 15(1) read along with 15(4), value will be determined as per this rule, or vice versa. Rule 28 read along with 15(4), value will be determined. You can write in both ways of your wish. But my intention is 15(4) is the bridge which connects your 15(1) and the 5 valuation rules if the conditions are not satisfied. There are certain supply of goods, certain supply of goods or services. There are certain supply of goods and services. There are certain supply of goods or services. Those supply of goods or services, value shall be determined in the manner prescribed by the government. We have about 5-6 businesses. Value will be determined in a prescribed way. Foreign exchange dealer, life insurance business, air travel agent, followed by used goods dealer, person who deals with uh, vouchers. 5 different business. Let me repeat. These 5 different business, very recent amendments we have in lottery tickets, actionable claims. These businesses, it's growing. It's on a daily basis, it's growing. These businesses, as of now, identified by the government, value will be determined as per prescribed. Which means section 15.5 will override your 15.1 itself. Government gives up an option. In case of these, the value will be determined in such manner as may be prescribed. What are those businesses? Foreign exchange dealer, life insurance business, lottery tickets, used goods, followed by air travel agent. For these businesses, value will be determined in a particular manner. No great amendments we have on those topic. It's all regular amendments that we already have on those topic. But for a revision purposes, for a understanding purposes, nothing new you will have from the earlier law, almost same from the earlier law. But just be aware, it would be going in a different direction. Coming back here, getting into valuation under GST. We are now going to concentrate only on these 5 rules for the next 1 hour or so. Our whole idea is to close. If the 2 conditions failed, how to determine value? That's all. If the 2 conditions failed, either both failed, one failed, as the case. Let me repeat. Or it cannot be valued. You have a transaction in hand. Applicability of 15.1 itself is not there. Are there transactions? Yes. So either 15.1 itself is not there, or one condition failed, both the condition failed, as the case may be, value will be determined as per valuation rule. We have to go only in chronological order, at least from 27 to 31. Sir, why chronological order? Over a period of time, you will know why chronological order. Sections are worded more specifically. I'm not sure, maybe my presentation will sell you that it has to be applied in the chronological order. I have tried my level best, but when you read through the law very cleverly, it would indirectly pushes you, before applying this rule, you should apply this rule. Before applying this rule, you should apply this rule, which means it should go only in a chronological order. For example, rule 27. When this will be applicable? When consideration is not wholly received in money. Let me repeat. When consideration is not wholly received in money. That word wholly is more important. My consideration should be a sole consideration. Plus my consideration being a sole consideration, which I receive, it should also be received in terms of money. If I'm going to provide a service and received a MacBook Air and 25,000 rupees, MacBook Air worth 75,000 and money check worth 25,000, I have received my consideration, no doubt. But consideration is not wholly in money. For that reason, my transaction value will be rejected. Price paid is not the sole consideration. 25,000 is not the sole consideration. Apart from that 25,000, something is there. What is that something? Non-monetary consideration. I'll make this discussion very simple. Whenever in a transaction you have a non-monetary consideration, kindly refer the transaction to Rule 27. Kindly refer the transaction to Rule 27. Rule 27 will discuss about non-monetary consideration. What do we mean by non-monetary consideration? Other than money. Promise, do him something, refrain from doing something, receipt in gold, receipt in any other form. I am entitled for some money, I receive that money apart from this. If this be the situation, law is very, very clear. Law is very clear. Value will be determined as per Rule 27. Let me repeat it. I have till now never went into value, how to arrive it. I'm just highlighting in which situation you will use. If my supply is worth 50,000 and entirely I received 50,000, I am sorry, you will not use Rule 27. I invoiced for 50,000, but I received 20,000 rupees and a mobile phone worth rupees 30,000, then I will use Rule 27. Okay. How to determine value? Now you say, get into the 3 exclusive parameters of this rule and 2 general parameters. What are the 3 exclusive parameters of this rule? If consideration is not wholly in money, section 15.1 condition fails, rule 15.4 read along with rule 27 or vice versa. Rule 27 read along with section 15.4, valuation should be triggered from rule 27. Law says value will be open market value. Sir, open market value means what? Like this goods, like this services, you have supplied to a third person, collected the full consideration money at or about the same time. At or about the same time. Today, you raised the invoice for this fellow 50,000. Like this, have you raised that similar product to somebody? Yes, sir. What price you quoted? This is my price. Have you sold it for same price? Yes. Then that price will be accepted as open market. Maybe I'll give 1 or 2 examples. You can take a grip on this example. It's a company which sell laptop. They received an old laptop from a customer, exchange laptop. The old laptop is working well, but because of the redundancy in technology, the speed at which today operates, and the space OS takes, operating system 10 onwards. There were days operating system used to take 15 GB. There were days operating system used to take 30 GB. Today operating system takes 100 GB. 100 GB is the space they want to run an operating system effectively. Let me repeat, this is the highest in terms of the personal use based activities. Now, why this discussion comes in? Because of that reason, the individual exchanges his laptop. A new laptop is worth 75,000. The old laptop is taken for 5,000 and he was billed 75. He was billed 70,000 rupees and he paid 70,000 rupees. His 70,000 rupees will be accepted as a transaction value. Answer is no, because there is a kind and there is a money. You will come to rule 27. You will ask a fundamental question. Like this, have you sold a similar laptop? Yes, sir. When you sold yesterday, what price? 75,000. Oh, has he settled the entire 75,000 in money? Yes. That 75,000 yesterday you sold, no, that becomes the OMV, open market value. Open market value means, open market value means supply of goods or services or both, where the full value of money excluding GST is paid by a person for a transaction. where the supplier and recipient of supply are not related and the price is the sole consideration. To obtain such supply at the same time when the supply being valued is made. I have verbatim copy pasted the root. Don't get much bothered about its model, terminology, way in which it is written. Core discussion, if it is a transaction allowed under 15.1, which happens at or about the same time, that transaction price will be accepted for the subsequent transaction, which means now you are selling this laptop. Now you are selling this laptop to somebody else. Already you sold that laptop for some other person. You have sold that laptop for A for 75,000, everything in money. Supplier and A not related, everything satisfied. That is why under 15.1 that is accepted as a transaction value. That 75,000 will be accepted as value of supply here. So nothing great about it. There will be challenge only in two circumstances. One, sir, this is my first transaction, or this is a new product. Only two circumstances we will have challenge. Maybe a third and a rare challenge is I don't have a pricing mechanism like this. I deal always only with my related person. Technically speaking, I am unable to determine my open market value. In other words, my open market value condition fails. That is why it is marked in red. If my first subclause fails only, I will go to the second subclause. If you go back and read through your rule 27, if you Google it, you will be able to know 27A, 27B, 27C, and then comes up the last. It is a chronological application. 27A fails only, you can touch up 27B. In fact, 27B, when it starts, if A fails, comma, then only they'll rate. If value of supply cannot be determined as per open market value, then value of money received plus aggregate value plus value of non-monetary consideration, aggregate of both value of money received plus value of non-monetary consideration will become value of supply. That laptop is worth 6,000 rupees. I received a money of 70,000 rupees, then 6,000 plus 70,000 equal to 76,000. 76,000 will become value of supply. 99.99% you will conclude your answers in your second subclass. Whatever be your level, okay? Sir, if that also fails, understand when it will fail. Non-monetary consideration cannot be determined. In my view, every non-monetary consideration can be valued. But understand certain non-monetary consideration, preferably promises, that to a promise of abstain from doing something, determining value for it, for an expert itself, valuation expert itself, is tough. It's tough. No jokes. It's tough. It's not that easy. So on an exceptional circumstance only, it will fail. If it is laptop, this, that, gold item, precious stone, blah, 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 immovable property, all are considered. Exceptional discussion, yes, it is possible. Coming back here. The value of supply of goods or services are going to be, value of supply of goods or services are going to be maybe we have to think it in this perspective. there is going to be a non-monetary consideration, and that non-monetary consideration cannot be determined. Then value of supply will be that will fail straight away. So for a transaction, open market value is also not there, it fails. And this also fails. What? Monetary plus non-monetary consideration also fails. Law says value of supply of goods or services of, look at that wording, like, kind and quality. Sir, what do you mean by like, kind and quality of goods? Supply of goods or services of like, kind and quality means any other, look at that word, any other supply of goods or services which are made under similar circumstance in respect of the characteristics, quality, functional components, material, and the reputation of goods or service, or both first mentioned above, is the same as, in my view, I have never come across two products which are same. முதல்ல இதெல்லாம் படிச்சதெல்லாம் subjective. Whatever we read is subjective. For all said and done, do you believe Samsung and Apple has same reputation? Do you believe Samsung and Apple enjoy a same functional components, or same materials, same characteristics? No, both are in both a different extreme. Maybe a Redmi and a Samsung, I'm not sure. That also equating it is not possible. See, we can write many things and go, but when it comes to its applicability, it is highly subjective. It is same as above, or closely or substantially resembles. It substantially resembles, closely resembles, no. I will take that price. Possible. Not the same as above. Closely or substantially resembles. That item is called as your like, kind and quality. In other words, if I don't have the value of Samsung, can you take a value of a Redmi which has all configurations same? The answer would be yes. If I don't have a value of Redmi, can I take the value of a Realme and do it? The answer would be same. But mark my word, exceptional discussion. Never in one's life they will use this transaction. I am not joking. I'm very, very clear. First of all, to come to the third subclause, you should surpass your second subclause. You say me for which non-monetary consideration value cannot be determined. You give me one non-monetary consideration for which, sir, for this non-monetary consideration, you cannot determine value. I've been speaking of private islands for quite some time. Not yesterday, today I've been speaking. I'm aware of private islands for about 10-15 years, 10 years before itself. I'm also very well aware that one of a private island of 650 crores worth was available or was with Vijay Mallya. And often I used to come up with a new proposal itself. There is going to be a 10-day holiday in a private island. See, it's not a private house, bungalow, it's a private island. Meaning thereby you alone exist in that island. But for support people to support you, nobody will be there. It's not a private house, it's not a private space, it's a private island. So something like some of these people today go and start printing their currency and do all this tamasha. So you have something like that, okay? Now it's cost 650 crores and you have so many of that are under sales. Okay. So you can go and you will tomorrow call that as country and all. Boss, country status and all, United Nations has to give. Okay, we will engage a consulting firm. They'll get a country status to us. That's okay. Now, point here is, in case of a private island, a 10-day stay in private island, how are we going to value? Can we value this? Yes. What is the cost involved in maintaining the private island plus general margin, profit margin, which is available at the Indian costing standards or the international costing standards. We can borrow those principles. We call it as general profit at the international level. At an Indian level, we'll not call it as Indian level, we'll call it as only as gross profit, net profit, or from a costing perspective, we'll call it as contribution. But international modality is general profit. General profit. General profit in that kind of transactions. Costing plus general profit, you will arrive even for that. A 10-day stay in a private island, you can arrive. So there is every transaction that can be valued, but for exceptional cases. In those exceptional cases, why break your head? Like this, you have a similar supply of goods. Like this, you have a similar supply of service. Similar supply of goods, similar supply of services. You can use those similar supply of goods or services, similar supply of goods or services. For a Redmi mobile, I want you to compare a Oppo. For a Vivo mobile, I want you to compare a Oppo. For a Redmi mobile, I want to compare you a Realme. For a OnePlus, I want you to compare with somebody else. So whatever features, characteristics, all this, that, and all change. Idea is these are all commercially interchangeable products. Be it supply of goods, be it supply of service, that value will be available as fixed as a value of this supply. Exceptional discussion. So, if value cannot be determined, first reason, open market value of 1 month.